Leonardo, Grundtvig and Transversal are 3 parts of the European Commission's lifelong learning programme. If you're involved in vocational training or education, they are your key to some exciting European opportunities. Send learners or job seekers on training abroad, build partnerships across 31 countries, or get funding to attend a conference or study visit. These are just some of the ways that organisations in Scotland are benefiting right now.
Lifelong learning is about basic citizenship and encouraging people to enjoy life, to get the most out of their participation in any activity they're involved in. And increasingly we're seeing in Scotland that an involvement in lifelong learning has a big benefit for health and well-being, and it means that people can remain healthier if they're involved in active involvement in society, and involvement in studying and in lifelong learning is one of the positive aspects of that.
With funding for all kinds of people, there's always an opportunity to go back to education and training with Leonardo, Grundtvig and Transversal.
We believe that lifelong learning is from cradle to grave. It starts from the very early years. We recognise the Leonardo programme, the other programmes that support international lifelong learning can contribute to our own domestic agenda.
We have a wide range of lifelong learning program opportunities for you. Let's take a look at what's happening in Scotland.
The General Teaching Council for Scotland recently hosted a transversal study visit. The week-long placement attracted learning professionals from across Europe to see for themselves the recent improvements to professional development for Scottish teachers.
We gave them the opportunity to go out to a further education college, to one of the universities. They spent some time in a primary school, they spent some time in a secondary school. They like the fact that they're talking to kids, they're talking to other teachers, they're seeing schools, they're getting that kind of insight. So I think they felt they had quite a lot of benefit in terms of getting insight into Scottish education generally. We're fairly proud of what we do in Scotland. We think we do it quite well. So we were able to spread that message to lots of other countries in Europe.
It was very interesting. Most of them spoke very good English, and they were a very good group because they bonded very well. That was one of the things that did come out at the end of the visit, how well 16 people had actually got together.
It was obvious that the transversal programme was there to encourage cooperation between different countries in Europe. Maybe we would have had 1 or 2 countries come, but I think I counted up there were about 13 countries, and it's unlikely that we would have had 13 representatives if it hadn't been for transversal, I think.
Transversal was extremely important in this. In fact, it was pivotal. It gave us the framework to organise things and to make the very, very important contacts, and contacts not just in their breadth but in their depth as well.
The Tourist Board training team at Visit Scotland received Leonardo Transfer of Innovation funding for its 3-nation partnership to develop better and more tailored training materials for managers in the European tourism industry.
When we looked at what the actual gaps were in terms of what they were looking for or what they were needing, consistently, didn't matter which country we were in, consistently they were coming up with the same gaps. There were particular barriers of time. They were running businesses, so they didn't have the time to go to a university, for example. Costs, because it's expensive. Replacing staff, that's also expensive if they're having to send somebody away. We then, as partners, decided, right, how do we approach it? How do we get round this problem of them not being able to have the time to go away and do some sort of a qualification, and realised it would have to be based on online. We designed the virtual learning environment for them to do the modules, and within the virtual learning environment we had a chat room, and we had discussion groups and discussion board and forums. It created new links for our organisation. It ended up that we were getting a lot of contact with countries like Turkey, like Malta, like Spain, Sweden, Finland, and they were all making contacts with us. I suppose it's raised the bar.
Leonardo Transfer of Innovation funding supports organisations to set up large-scale European partnerships. Patricia Black is a consultant specialising in disability and mental health issues. She went to Slovakia for a 5-day Grundtvig in-service training course to find out more about equal opportunities within diverse communities.
And I was interested in it because it was about looking at different levels of engagement and of thinking about groups who are marginalised as representing ourselves, and that as soon as you marginalise somebody, so the theory would be that as soon as you marginalise somebody, you also marginalise a part of yourself. And this was a course for 7 days that worked on all of those issues. We're working together with some people from different countries to try and work out ways of sharing our experience and learning. So in Scotland we've got particularly good, probably the best individualised services, which are being, they're probably better than anywhere else. Vera, who from Anwin in Slovakia, has just really brilliant teaching for individuals who work in institutions, and she's got some fantastic learning from that. And there's some people in Hungary who are amazing at advocacy. And so we're trying to all get together and see what everybody's good at, and then they can tell each other. And also the extra dimension that we're going to try and add to it, which I think will be newer, is also for people who have learning disabilities to be part of that. Because in all of our countries, people with learning disabilities are most marginalised, I think, of everybody. So we've got something like 300 students at the moment in groups of 30 across Scotland. Those people deserve me to be interested in learning new things and passing them on.
Grundtvig in-service training offers grants to attend conferences and work experience across Europe.
As you have seen, we have great opportunities for you. You are just a few steps away from an exciting and rewarding European experience. Why don't you take your chance?
To find out more, why not come to one of our information days? They're held in Scotland every year. If you like what you see, you can book on to an advice surgery, which will help you to turn your ideas into a strong application for funding. You can find out about our application deadlines and read about other opportunities available under the Lifelong Learning Programme at www.lifelonglearningprogramme.org.uk.